Hello, welcome back to the homestead, where I'm just showing you life on our side of the mountain. We are back out in the garden. Such a good day to be out here. We're gonna be moving stuff around from the Wallapini up to this other greenhouse that Adam is gonna situate. We're gonna be planting some peppers in grow bags and just kind of moving around the seedlings wherever they need to be. I have not shared a video or update about the Wallapini in about a week. A few days ago, we got in there and there was a huge snake in the Wallapini. I have a little clip of that I will share. Basically, Adam got in the Wallapini and I went to step in and saw a snake out of the corner of my eye. I started screaming. I'm not a snake person. The snake took off along the side of the greenhouse roof, crawled down into the pit, and then into like a little hole in the wall. Super creepy. I am not a fan of that at all. But here's a clip. The only clip I got because I was freaking out. So let's see. Fuck. Ew. It probably just felt the moisture. So that was super creepy. I'm not a fan. Apparently they're good snakes. I'm not a snake person, so I don't think there's good snakes, but apparently these bull snakes keep rattlesnakes away, which is good. Bull snakes are not venomous, so I guess like to compare the two, it's better to have bull snakes than rattlesnakes, but just not in the greenhouse. You know, not in the greenhouse. There's so much space outside. Just like don't go in the greenhouse. Anyways, I'm gonna get in there, start planting some peppers. Adam's fixing the greenhouse roof that collapsed. We're salvaging everything. He's fixing that right now. I'm gonna get these peppers planted and then we're gonna rearrange, situate the garden, get things where they need to be. So let's do it. Okay, I have the door propped open to try to let some of that steam out. But you could definitely tell the difference, probably even from video. It is so steamy. Oh my gosh, hang on. How humid it is in the greenhouse compared to outside. Extremely dry. In here, it's like Florida. And I guess I haven't really shared much of the outside garden this year. So the Wallapini's right there. I'm taking this path up, and this is where the other greenhouse is. This is a frame that had collapsed one year, and Adam saved it.
At least one season. I don't know about this year.
At least one season, but I feel like you could do it, Adam.
Yeah.
We're gonna just add some extra supports where the roof is a little wonky.
Try and support it as we need to, where we need to, and salvage it.
Salvage it as best as we can. And then we'll have 2 more long beds that we can plant in. Last year we did a bunch of tomatoes up here and watermelons and squash. So yeah, we're gonna just plant as much as we can up here as well. Ooh, very cool. You found a branch.
Try and just make this work somehow. Attach these pieces to this branch, get this in here a little deeper probably, and just try and make something work. Probably have to do a few of these throughout.
Perfect. Wherever it's needed.
Yeah, and it might just be like evolving forever until we get a new replacement.
There you go. But we like to use what we have till we can't use it anymore. So Adam had a good point that 90% of people these days would probably throw this out, but we're collapsed all the way in.
We fiberglassed it.
Adam fiberglassed all the joints and made it salvageable.
And we grew like a fuck ton of tomatoes in here and watermelons.
Yeah, it worked. So don't throw things away. Try to fix them, guys. Try.
Grandparents' energy.
Ooh, exactly. Tap in there.
Yeah.
Adam just got this post in.
Yeah, it's super loose, but I'm gonna fill it back in and then tie it up there somehow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Thanks. Hopefully it works for a little bit at least.
I love using trees and old branches to fix things in the garden.
It's like how people built before lumber.
Yeah, that's true. The soil looks good once it's stirred around.
Yeah, it is good soil for sure.
That's great. Ooh, I'll plant something right next to it that has to vine up because that would be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Ooh, fun. All right, I am over here weeding. These weeds go so deep, so I'm just trying to get as many as I can out of the way. Yeah, then we'll start doing all the other fun stuff. So Adam finished this support. He ended up duct taping the frame and then tying the beam to the frame. And the duct tape has actually held up better. Like, it's super, super sturdy. It's held up better than the, what am I trying to say?
Electrical tape?
The fiberglass. All right, I've had this door propped open for like 20 minutes and it's aired it out a little bit. I'm gonna open the vents on the side to get some circulation in here. But for now, it's not as steamy as it once was. So I'm gonna plant all these melons up in the other greenhouse once Adam gets the roof on it. We have a bunch of peppers that I'm gonna go ahead and transplant into some grow bags. So yeah, I'm gonna take these peppers outside, get them planted, and then we'll figure out where to put them. Okay, I have 11 different pepper plants here that I'm gonna put in grow bags. We're growing Thai chili peppers, like the little bird's eye pepper. I'll put 2 of the bird's eye chili peppers in a gallon bag, so 2 per gallon. And then the others I might space out depending on what I'm feeling. I might plant some directly in the greenhouse bed. We're gonna see what that looks like in a minute, but we have peppers growing in the greenhouse from seed, but we barter with our local nursery through the screen printing shop. So we print and embroider items for them, and in turn they give us credit. So these peppers are seeds that we did not start. So like the bird's eye chili, for instance, the jalapeno, I ran out of jalapeno seeds this year, so didn't get those planted. So yeah, we were able to barter, which is great. All right, so here we go. I have 2 pots of Thai chili peppers, the bird's eye chili, and I just planted 2 per pot. I usually do that every year, and they take off, and it's just like one giant bush. I have jalapeno plants over here. I have 1 more jalapeno, 2 cayenne, and then 2 hot banana peppers that I'm gonna plant in the Wallapini bed, like in the ground. I just need to wait to situate some plants in there so I have the space. Adam is adding more supports to the greenhouse up there, and then we'll get the roof on and move these plants, like the bags, around, so that way I have space in the Wallapini to plant in the bed. All right, Adam secured the frame where it was needed, and now we're gonna get the roof material back over. Once the roof material's over, we're gonna stack rocks around the outside to hold the roof in place. And then this space will be good to go, prepped and ready. Look at that. We're getting the roof situated and tied down. But there we go. Another 10 by 20 foot greenhouse space. So now that the roof's on, there's little ties inside that we'll get onto the frame, and then we'll go around the outside, stack some rocks. I'll show you that process. Basically, we just pull the extra material, stack some rocks, so that way it's not flapping around everywhere. But yeah, that's that. We're excited to have this space in use. All right, we have the roof on and the door zipped. So now all this extra material on the bottom, all the way around, we'll pull tight and stack up rocks to hold it all in place. So let's do it. All right, just to give you a quick idea, this is what we're doing. There's a lot of extra greenhouse material on the ends, and we're stacking rocks all the way to the edge. You can tell it's very windy out here, so we don't want the roof to blow away. And this helps. We do it for the Wallapini as well. We've done this every year. We've had a greenhouse and have never had an issue of the greenhouse roof blowing away. So you can see we have a ton of rocks already from last year. So thankfully we don't have to go up the mountain and find rocks. This is as easy as just moving the rocks onto the roof material. So we're gonna get that done real quick. All right, y'all, we just finished putting the rocks all along the outside of the roof. The roof is totally secure. The greenhouse is ready to fill up. Yeah, we're gonna move some seedlings up here, plant the melons, get some peppers in the ground, probably move some of the bagged planters up here as well and put them down the middle of the greenhouse. But yeah, that's situated. Look at that. We took a busted greenhouse, made it usable.
Second year in a row.
Second year in a row. That's so true. So don't throw things away, fix them, because why wouldn't you? It's a lot cooler. We're gonna till the soil a little bit, mostly like just move it around a bit so it's not dry and crunchy. And then I'm gonna plant some peppers up here. So we're gonna get this soil prepped and ready. Boop. All right, so we just tilled up the beds, got them all raked out. I'm gonna start planting some peppers on this side. Totally forgot to show y'all in here. So the Wallapini walls are alive. I cut back the grass and cut some of the weeds off the walls. But everything's growing really wild in here. The shelves are full of seedlings. So all the melons and the squash that look like they've outgrown their containers. See, the roots are growing through. I'm going to take all these up to the other greenhouse and get those planted in the ground. So that way they have some space to grow some more. So we have a bunch of melons and squash and the peppers that we're going to plant. So let's do it. Oh, and we took that plastic off this little setup. Everything's sprouting real nice. So we didn't need the plastic anymore. As soon as the tomatoes grow a little bit taller, then we will get those transplanted as well. But right now they're still tiny little seedlings. So we will put some in the ground in here, some in the other greenhouse, and some outside. So we'll figure that out later. This is the hole where the snake was. You can see that it's like filled in, but that's where that snake was hanging out. Super creepy. It came from that corner, slithered behind the plants, and right down here.
I was standing right where you are.
Into that hole. Yeah, Adam was standing right here. I was up there screaming. It was quite the event. All right, y'all. So we have 2 big beds to fill up. So we're gonna start. We're gonna start on this side. Get peppers, melons, and squash in the ground. So let's do it. All right, here's what's going on. I got the 5 peppers planted here. We've started planting the squash down this way. Adam has planted melons in all the corners because those vine like crazy. The vines will be on the other side of the greenhouse by the end of the season, but we can train the vines easy. So we have Turkish melons over here, tiger or tigger melons over on this side, watermelon on that side, and more Turkish melon on that far corner. So ideally those will vine behind all the plants that we plant. But if anything, we can train them to hold on to like the frame of the greenhouse. So that way they're not growing all crazy. But we're almost through all of the seedlings. We're going to put 1 Turkish melon down in the underground greenhouse. These are 2 more squash. And we have 4 squash over here. So 6 more squash to plant along this side, and we will be done in here for now. Even just that has filled up the greenhouse quite a bit. I'm guessing the squash will go all the way to the end on this side. These beds are really wide, so we can definitely fit some more along the fronts. But yeah, that's definitely a good start in filling everything up. And then we have this whole side basically to work with. But yeah, lots of tomatoes. Woo!
All right.
We're gonna get these planted and then situate, water everything in, check the greenhouse, the underground greenhouse, to see if we need to move anything else up here as far as the bagged plants. And yeah, get everything situated. Boom.
Brought to you by So's Bazaar.
So's Bazaar. Oh, and one more thing. I've mentioned that we live in the high desert. It's very dry. So whenever I'm planting seedlings, I always make a little circle around the plant, and it kind of creates this divot where the water will sit there and the plant can absorb all the water, and there's no runoff. So I make little circles like this around each plant, and then it has its own little pool, and that is super helpful. It's a little trick from real quick. I'm gonna water these and show you guys what I mean by like the water pools up. See how it stays in that little area that I carved out? It really helps if you live in a drier place. Your plants have a minute to like drink up as much as they can. So for the squash, I fully soak them. The peppers, I'm gonna fully soak because it's their first, they like just got transplanted. But yeah, it really helps, especially with runoff. And if you live in a dry place, make those little circles and your water will have somewhere to sit. Just like that. I started these from seeds and the roots are so strong. Makes me really happy. All the squash and the melons that I've planted so far are from seed, and they're all looking real strong and healthy. All right, we just transplanted 22 plants. We still have plenty of space in here to plant some more goods. But that's the start of it. Just super exciting. We're gonna come through and add wood chips once we get to that point. In the next few weeks, we'll start making wood chips and then slowly adding them to all the beds as they are made. In between all the plants, I'm gonna just sprinkle some different herbs, maybe some flowers, and just kind of fill in. But everything's pretty packed. Maybe a little too close, but we'll figure it out. Anything that vines, we're gonna either train to go up the greenhouse wall or around each other. We'll figure that out when we get there. Then we have this whole bed to fill, and we will put some shade cloth on the top of the greenhouse because this gets full sun, which up at 7,600 feet, the sun is really intense. So we'll put shade cloth so that way this stuff doesn't fry. But yeah, guys, it's so exciting. We're gonna plant one of these Turkish melons in the underground greenhouse, so we'll bring that down real quick and probably plant that tomorrow. But here we are. This greenhouse is set, ready, and already filling up. Okay, just to show you like relation to the other garden, that's the greenhouse we were just working in, and that's the underground greenhouse. And between the two are all the outdoor garden beds. So just to give you an idea, that's that. The chicken coop is gonna be right where Adam's standing. And then we'll do grapevines back along that fence. So yeah, that's just like a quick little layout, garden layout, I guess. Let's put this back in the Wallapini and then we're gonna head inside. All right, it's looking a little clearer in here. Got some extra space on the shelves, not much, but it's all good. All right, everything's situated. The bagged peppers are over there. Everything's watered. And we will figure out where all those seedlings are gonna go. And all these.
I don't know.
All right, y'all, that is that. We have the other greenhouse up, got some stuff planted in there. Space, cleared a little bit of space in the Wallapini. Feels really good to be back out in the garden, working on these fun projects and getting everything planted up. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Adam's down there. Where is he? Ah, there he is. We're gonna go in and get some dinner started and process that rhubarb. So thanks for hanging out, and we will see you on the next one.